Ayan, hello mga Itulay BFFs, here we go again. Kasi it's Friday, kaya nga it's TGIF. By the way, my name is Tutor Janet, your math tutor na mabait. Hatid sa inyong muli, isang araw na magical at enchanted. Kaya nga, what you waiting for mga kasquad? Or should I say kasquid? Clap your hands together dahil kasama na ng inyong fairy godmother, si Miss Matt Diwata na sa arithmetic at pati sa algebra talaga namang wala stick. So come, let's get it on. A round of applause for Tutor Angenique.
Hello! Good afternoon po sa ating mga math terrific grade 9 students. Ayan, thank you so much, Fairy Godmother. Talaga namang gumagabay sa atin, lalong-lalo na sa ating grade 9 mathematics lesson. Ayan, so bati muna po tayo sa ating mga comments. Thank you, Tutor Janet. See you again later. Ayan po, bati muna tayo from Deparo High School. Very active talaga ang ating mga estudyante. Alright, so we have here, good afternoon po from grade 9 Bougainvillea, Hana Nika Donaire Paye. Hello! And then watching from, meron tayo dito from other school, Cagayan. Great afternoon. Ayan, LNHS, SDO Cagayan, Greya Mar. Ayan, so para po sa lahat ng ating math terrific grade 9 students, ang kinakailangan po natin ay sumagot sa mga tanong para makakuha po tayo ng ating Math Tuty of the Week. Alright? So wag natin pong kalimutan yan. Watching from, ayan, talaga naman, from Tagala Elementary School. Nako, nasa high school po tayo ha, grade 9. At least talaga nag-a-advance na. Kataingan East District, Masbate Province. Hello po sa inyo. From Magdalena Gapod High School, Itiage West District, Hudson Mike Kakal. Ayan, watching from, ayan, DHS Deparo High School again, 9 Marigold, Kyla Tedlos. Hello, great afternoon sa inyong lahat. Ayan, sige, magsimula na tayo. Alright, so once again, kami po ang inyong Itulay Online Tutors, Tutor Janet and Angenique, ang fairy godmother at inyong math diwata. Ayan, pasasalamat po sa mga sumusunod. Ayan. So, wag pong kalimutan, every Friday, 3 o'clock to 3:40 p.m. Mapapanood po tayo, Facebook Live, DepEd EdTech Unit, and DepEd Tayo. YouTube channel, DepEd Philippines, DepEd EdTech, and DepEd TV. Ayan. Ngayon, ang ating topic ay, number 1, solving quadratic equation using quadratic formula na ating ipagpapatuloy. And for our week 2, nature of roots of a quadratic equation. So handa na ba ang ating mga math terrific students? Alright, let's get it on. Gustong-gusto ko yung sinabi ni Tutor Janet. Talaga na, tara na mga ka-squid. Alright, let's start. So, bago tayo magsimula, ibibigay ko lamang sa inyo ang mga DepEd TV episodes na kung saan maaari nyong panoorin. Ayan, para mas ma-deeper pa, no, yung inyong understanding sa ating topic for today. So, ito lamang, tinyurl.com/9mathq1ep2 at yung isa naman ay ep3. Ayan, so ipa-flash lang po ni Direk. Teka, i-share ko lang ang ating link. Ayan, pa-flash na lang po, Direk. Ayan, so tandaan, mas mainam na kayo ay nagre-review kung meron man kayong online sa school, online tutorial, at DepEd TV, mas mapaghuhusayan mo ang Mathematics 9. Alright, tignan nga natin mga bagong ka-squid dyan. Watching, listening from Itiage West District. Hello po. Magdalena High School, Gapod High School. Ayan, good. Great afternoon. Alright, next. So, our objectives for today, at the end of the session, you will be able to, number 1, solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. So, kung natatandaan natin, meron tayong iba't ibang method to solve quadratic equation. It is number 1, factoring, extracting the square roots, factoring, and then completing the square. Ngayon, ang pang-apat is quadratic formula. And of course, for week 2, we have to characterize the roots of a quadratic equation using the discriminant. Alright. Now, let's try this. Hello po. Simplify the following radicals. Ayan, review natin. Number 1 is square root of 125. You have learned in grade 8 how to take out the square root. Papaano nga po ba? So, first, we have to factor 125 with perfect square factor. So, 125, ano nga ba yung factors niya? Tignan nga natin sa ating mga math terrific students, mga ka-squid. Ayan, tignan nga natin. Alright. O, sagot-sagot din po ha, pag may time. So, factors of 125 are 25 times 5. Since 25 is a perfect square, then we can get the square root of 25. Tama po? What's the square root of 25? Tignan nga natin sa ating mga math terrific, mga ka-squid dyan. Square root of 25 is, is 5. Okay, wag lang po bumate ha. Kailangan sumagot din para ma-review kayo. Square root of 25 is 5. So what's left inside the radical sign is 5. So what is the answer? 5 is square root of 5. Ayan, very good si Akihiro Hideaki Takashi. Ayan, meron pa tayong Japanese, no? Naka-squid dyan. Alright, next, number 2. Okay, 27 minus square root of 49. So kapag ganito, always remember the PEMDAS, PE, exponent or the root. Okay, dalawa naman tayong parenthesis dito. Then let's go to exponent or root. So we have to get the root of 49. What is the square root of 49? Okay, tignan nga natin. Square root of 49. Square root of 49 is... Okay. Alright. Siguro delay lang ng konting segundo. Ayan, si Janice. Tama. Square root of 49 is 7. So what is the answer here? Don't forget to follow the PEMDAS. So after the E or the root, then let's simplify. The answer is 20. Yes, correct na naman si Akihiro Hideaki. Ayan, si Akihiro na lang. Medyo mahaba yung name eh. 27 minus 7 equals 20. Great job. Next, number 3. 15 minus square root of 112. Inuulit natin. Get perfect square factors. Get the perfect square factors of 112. Meron ba tayong perfect square dyan? Sa 112? Ano kaya? Meron ba? Ang maaari nyo gawin ay prime factorization para mas mahanap nyo ang perfect square. So what do you think? Square root of 112 or 112 has a factor of, tignan nga natin, sa habang hinihintay ko yung sagot. Ayan, 12 daw, 11, 4. Yes, Darlene. Bakit 4 ay pwede nating labas? Because it has a factor of 16 and 7. So, square root of 16 is 4. At naiwan sa loob ng radical sign ay 7. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Pwede na nating ilabas si square root of 16, which is 4. And then naiwan sa loob is 7. So, the answer is 15 minus 4 is square root of 7. Pwede pa ba nating isimplify yan? Ayan, talagang gumawa ng paraan para ilagay ang kanyang sagot. Tignan nga natin si Alexander. Square root of 112 equals square root of 4 times 4 times 7, which is 4 times square root of 7. Very good! Ang daming magagaling na math terrific ka-squid student dyan. Alright, next, number 4. Okay, so tandaan, gamitin lamang natin ang PEMDAS. Yan. So kapag meron kayong calculator, ang bilis, pero mas mainam na alam nyo din yung proseso. Uunahin natin ay sa loob ng radical sign. Again, the innermost. Alright. So, dun muna tayo sa loob. 7 square. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng 7 square? 49. Minus 4 times 6 times negative 5. That is 120. So, 7 square, 49, plus 120 is 169. So, ano ang square root of 169? Nandito pa lang tayo ha, sa loob ng radical sign. What is the square root of 169? Alright, no real roots. Square root of 169. Tignan nga. Tama dun sa number 3. Yes. Dito, meron tayong irrational lang yan. So, mamaya, mapag-aaralan pa natin yan, Nakihiro, don't worry. But in number 4, yan yung tinatanong ko. In number 4, dito sa loob ng radical sign, we have 169. So, what is the square root of 169? Very good, Cristel. That is 13. So, negative 7 plus 13 all over 12 is 6 over 12. And don't forget to simplify, which is 1/2. Ayan. So, don't forget tandaan natin ang mga natutunan natin sa grade 8, grade 7, how to simplify radical expression and PEMDAS. Ayan. Very good. Thank you so much, Alexander. Talaga nilagay niya sa chat box. Okay, siya ba yung sumagot kanina? Yes! Ang sipag ng batang... Taga saan ka, Alexander? Para naman ma-shoutout natin, no? Ka-squid. Kung taga saang SDO ka or school. Ayan, so pipili tayo ng maturity. Kaya kailangan maging active tayo. Alright. Next, let's analyze. Alright. Good job, Alexander. Let's have a given situation here. A certain group of boys play a ball outside Eric's house when one of them accidentally kicked it hard and went up to Eric's roof. They requested him to get the ball and throw it back to them. Without hesitation, Eric helped them and threw the ball from the roof onto the ground 9.14 meters below. He tossed the ball with an initial downward velocity of 3.05 meter per second. With h as the height of an object after t seconds, v as the initial velocity, and h as the initial height, the condition above is given by this equation. Ayan, kung naalala natin, actually lumalabas to sa physics lesson, di ba? Yes, talagang integrated siya into mathematics at kinakailangan natin ng concept ng quadratic formula and how to solve quadratic equations because we will encounter this one in physics problem. And this one is a good physics problem related to mathematics. Ayan. Now, the quadratic equation that can be formed from this story is negative 16t squared plus 3.05t plus 9.14 equals 0. As you can see, we have a decimal, a negative number as the coefficients in A, B, and C. Ngayon, can we solve it easily by extracting the square roots? No. Can we solve it easily by completing the square? Nako, mahirapan tayo dyan kasi decimal. Can we solve it easily by factoring? So what is the other way? The other way is what we call the quadratic formula. Ayan. So, sino dito may kabisado ng quadratic formula? The quadratic formula is given by the form x equals negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, where a should not be equal to 0. Why? Because when a is equal to 0, what will happen? A number over 0 is undefined. All right, next. So, let's solve for the real roots of each equation using quadratic formula. So, I have here examples. O, tignan nga natin. Try na po nating isolve. O, tignan natin kung sino ang makakapag-solve bago ko pa lang ilabas yung tamang sagot. Ayan, may plus point kayo sa akin. Lalo dyan sa mga estudyante ko, shout out dyan sa Deparo High School. Thank you so much. Sa aking principal, Ma'am Arlene C. Ocol, sa pag-allow sa amin sa Itulay Online Tutorial. Ayan. X squared minus 2x minus 19 equals 0. First step, you have to indicate the coefficients, the numerical coefficients of A, B, and C. A is the coefficient of the quadratic term. So, A equals 1. Ayan. So, makikita natin dito, here, 1x squared. Ayan, lagi invisible talaga si 1. No? Parang may ghosting talaga to si 1 eh. Parang yung x mo lang, no? Nag-ghosting ka na ba? X squared. So, A equals 1. Merong 1 dyan kahit di natin nakikita. No? Next, letter B, the linear term. B equals negative 2. Okay. Next, letter C. C equals negative 19. Then, after giving the values of A, B, and C, we will just substitute in the quadratic formula. So, how to find the value of x? For us to find the real roots of this quadratic equation, let's just substitute the values of A, B, and C. Alright, very good. Akihiro, active pa din. Tinitake note natin yan, ha? Next po tayo. Solve the value of B is negative 2, negative quantity of negative 2, plus minus square root of quantity negative 2 square minus 4 times 1 times negative 19 all over 2. Ayan, tignan nga natin kung sino makakasagot kagad nito. Okay, dapat hindi gumagamit ng calculator, ha? Use your whiteboard, use your paper. Okay, don't forget how to simplify. So let's start here. Inside the radical symbol. Yan. So, naulit lang. So, we have negative 2 square is positive 4. Minus 4 times 1 times negative 19 is 4 times 1. 4. Negative 4 times negative 19. Positive 76. Alright. Now, hindi pa tayo tapos sa loob ng square root sign. 4 plus 76 is 80. So we have 2 plus minus square root of 80 all over 2. Now we have to look for perfect square factor of 80. Ano nga ba ang perfect square factor ng 80? Okay, tignan nga natin sa ating mga live viewers na nanonood. Alright, so habang kayo ay nag-iisip, watching from Itchage West District, Doña Magdalena. Hello, good afternoon po. Watching from Barangka National High School, SDO Marikina City. Hello po sa inyong lahat dyan. Okay, si Akihiro pala yon from SDO Marikina. Alright. At very active din, no? Ang Gafood High School. Ayan, at the end of the school year natin sa Itulay, paparangalan din natin ang mga active na schools. Alright, so ano ang factor na, bago natin makalimutan, ano ang factors ng 80 na may perfect square? Tignan nga natin sa ating mga live viewers, ka-squid. Okay, gusto ko sinabi ni Ma'am ni Very Good Mother, si Tutor Janet na laging nandiyan. Mga ka-squid, ka-squad. Okay. So, square root of 80 will have 16 times 5. So, tandaan, 16 times 5 equals 80. We can get the square root of 16. Square root of 16 is 4. Anong natira sa loob? 5. So, 2 plus minus 4 is square root of 5. 5. Alright. Yes, Akihiro, pwede yung 4 and 20. Pero, greatest dapat. No? Yung 20, meron pa eh. 4 times 4 times 5. Tama? So, pwede nating ilabas si 4. Okay? So, that is 16 times 5. So, dapat pinakamalaking perfect square factor ng number na nasa loob ng radical sign. Okay. And then, if this is the case, you have to simplify. How? Get the GCF of on top and on bottom. Okay? The greatest common factor is 2. Right? We can factor out the 2. So what's left is 1 plus minus 2 is square root of 5. Okay, next. All right. Now, let's solve for the real roots of each equation using the quadratic formula. Ngayon, kapag ganito, don't forget to transform into quadratic equation, standard form. So, ang standard form natin ay 2x squared plus 6x plus 3 equals 0. And here we go. We have the values of A, B, and C. Alright, so again, let's just substitute. Huwag kalimutan, unahin yung nasa loob. Alright, so we have 36 minus 24. 36 minus 24 is 12. The greatest perfect square factor is 4. So, pwede nating labas square root of 4. So, we have 2 square root of 3. Negative 6 plus minus 2 square root of 3 all over 4. Ganun pa din, let's factor out. Ang tamang sagot ay negative 3 plus minus square root of 3 all over 2. Alright, next example. Revisit natin yung word problem. Because we have this quadratic equation, alright, and we need the quadratic formula. Okay, good morning po. Good afternoon na anak. Good afternoon from Deparo High School and then from Northern Corner District, Division of Apayao. Hello po sa inyo. Yan. So, let's indicate A, B, and C. A is negative 16, B equals 3.05, and C equals 9.14. Let X be the T or the time. Ayan, para ma-solve natin, no? Let X equals T. So, we can use the formula, quadratic formula. Ayan, so hindi ko na babanggitin dahil meron lang tayong 40 minutes, no? Okay. Then, don't forget to substitute it properly. Negative quantity 3.05 plus minus square root of 3.05 square minus 4 times negative 16 times 9.14. All over 2 times negative 16. Ayan. Ngayon naman, dahil decimal siya, it's okay. We can do it. We can compute it manually or you can use your calculator. But as much as possible, if you can do it manually, then do it. Right? Kasquit? Next. So, 3.05 square is 9.3025. Negative 4 times negative 16 times 9.14 is 500. Positive, ha? Negative times negative, yung minus, naging negative din yan. Negative times negative is positive. So, we have positive 584.96. Yan. So, let us use our calculator. The square root is 24.38. Ayan, so pwede nyo namang gamitin na yung calculator para sa pagkuha lang ng square root, ha? Okay. Now, we will separate this one into 2. We'll split it into 2. Negative 3.05 plus 24.38 all over negative 32 or negative 3.05 minus 24.38 all over negative 32. And we have two answers. Either negative 0.67 or 0.86. But wait, kinakailangan nating i-consider kung ano ba yung question. Ano ba yung hinahanap natin? We are looking for the time. Because x is equal to t, then the time should be positive, right? So that is 0.86 seconds. All right. Next. Ito naman tayo dito. When describing the natures or characters of the roots of a quadratic equation, it can be one of the following. So, pag-aralan natin, paano ba natin ma-describe? Yes, good afternoon po from CUNHS. Maaari siyang real or imaginary. Pag sinabi nating real, maaaring rational or irrational. Tandaan, pag sinabi mong rational, these are can be expressed in the form of A over B or in a fraction form. Or irrational cannot be expressed in a fraction form. Equal or unequal. Yan. So, that's how we can describe the natures. Later on, we will do it step by step. So, for a quadratic formula, using quadratic formula, we can have two solutions. X equals negative b plus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And x equals negative b minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Ayan. Ngayon naman, how can we describe? Kaya na ba nating obserbahan? Ano ang kalalabasan? Yes, kayang-kaya natin yan. The nature of the roots can be decided by the following. Alright. Using discriminant. Kapag inobserbahan lang natin ang nasa loob ng radical sign, malalaman na natin kung ano yung magiging resulta, kung ano ang magiging value ng x. It's either real or imaginary, equal, unequal, rational, or irrational. Ayan. So how? Just using discriminant. So what's the discriminant? B squared minus 4ac is the discriminant. O, antay-antay tayo. May mga tanong po tayo mamaya, ha? Now, what if na-solve mo yung nasa loob ng radical sign at ang lumabas ay 0? So we can say and we can describe that the resulting answer are real, no? The roots are real, equal, and rational. So ibig sabihin, isa lang yung sagot. Because the number inside the square root is 0. Square root of 0, 0. So ibig sabihin, isa lang ang magiging solution ng quadratic equation na yon. Again, real, equal, dahil isa lang naman yung solution, so talagang equal yung roots niya, and rational. What if less than 0? Paano kapag yung nandoon sa loob ng radical sign ay negative number? Pag sinabi mong less than 0, negative number. Then the roots are unequal, magkaiba, and imaginary. Hindi totoo, parang siya lang, di ba? Okay. Next. Kapag naman greater than 0, positive number, dalawa lang yan. It's either perfect square or not a perfect square. Kapag perfect square, the roots are real and equal. Dalawa, no? Dalawa yung sagot. And rational. Yan yung pinagkaiba nila, rational. Pero kapag hindi perfect square, irrational naman. The roots are real, unequal, and irrational. So, I'll be giving examples here. Yan. Let's do by inspection. Determine the nature of the roots of the following equation. Sige nga, tatanungin ko kayo. Number 1, the first example. X squared minus 7x minus 8 equals 0. Alright, tignan nga natin. Again, let's write the values of A, B, and C. Hindi natin sasagutin yan, ha? I mean, we are just describing the nature of the roots. Okay? So, ay identify natin kung real, equal, rational, real, equal, irrational, no? Imaginary, unequal imaginary, and then katulad ng mga cases na nabanggit ko kanina. Okay, sa tingin nyo, tignan nga natin, tinitignan ko yung chat box, ha? Ano kaya ang nature ng roots na ito? Now, negative 7 square minus 4 times 1 times negative 8. Okay. So what is the answer? Negative 7 square, 49. Negative 4 times 1, negative 4. Times negative 8. Okay, we have, all right. So 49, 4 times 32 plus 32, 49 plus 32, that is 81. Now, this is a positive number. So kung yung 81 ay positive number and a perfect square, ano kaya ang nature ng roots? Oh, sagot-sagot din sa ating mga math terrific students. Tignan nga natin kung sino makakasagot. Inuulit natin, ha. Kung gusto nyong balikan, recorded naman ang ating live via DepEd EdTech Unit. Ano yung case na ito? We can say that we can have two real, rational, and unequal roots. Ayan. Yes, because square root of 81 is 9. Pero hindi natin sinasagot yon. We are just describing the nature of the roots. Ano ang nature of the roots? Two real, rational, and unequal roots. Bakit rational? Oh, because we can have the square root of 81. What's the square root of 81? Yes, Hananika, perfect square siya, tama. So pag perfect square siya, rational and unequal. All right. Next example. Okay, yes, tama, Dwayne. Square root of 81 is 9. Okay, tinitignan ko dito kung sino ang sumasagot, ha. Yes, Akihiro, perfect square siya. So tandaan, pag narinig niyo lang, oh, perfect square. Positive number. So dalawa ang roots niya. Rational and unequal. So pag sinabi mo dalawa, unequal nga sila. Alright, next, letter B. X square minus 7x minus 8 equals 0. Okay. Once again, identify the value of A, B, and C. The values are A equals 2, B equals, oh wait lang, sandali. Okay. Dali lang, nagkamali lang tayo dito. Okay. Alright. Okay. Hindi lang napansin niya ni tutor. So, kapag naman A equals 2, B equals negative 4, and C equals 1. Okay. So, lagay ko lang, ha. Sandali lang. I-edit lang po natin. Hinta lang tayo doon. So, nakikinig pa ba ang ating mga students? Thank you. Thank you sa ating direct. Edit ko lang po, ha. So, while waiting, tignan nga natin yung ating mga students kung talaga nakikinig pa. Don't forget the case, no? Yes, great afternoon from DHS 9 Marigold. So, we have here, okay, basa-basa muna tayo. C equals positive 1. Alright. Okay, so, pwede na. Alright, so, ayan. Okay. Thank you po, Direk. So, if A equals 2, B equals negative 4, and C equals 1. So, we have here, negative 4 square minus 4 times 2 times 1. Alright, so, negative 4 square, positive 16. Okay, quantity, magkaiba pag sinabi mong negative of 4 and then square. Sa quantity, negative 4 square or the square of the quantity negative 4. So, kailangan careful tayo dyan. Minus 4 times 2 is 16 minus 8. So, 16 minus 8 is 8. O, ano kaya ito? What do you think is the nature of the roots? If inside the radical sign is 8, what do you think is the answer? What is the nature of the roots? Basahin nga natin ang ating mga comments. Ayan, tignan nga natin. Watching, nakikita natin from Doña Magdalena pa din. Thank you so much. Alright. Habang nag-aantay ako ng sagot, tignan nga natin dito yung ating mga kasquid. Kapod High School Visitasyon, Guyod. Alright. So, the answer is two real irrational. Since square root of 8, square root of 8 is 2 square root of 2. So, ibig sabihin, irrational siya. The decimal value is non-terminating and never-ending and non-repeating. Ayan. So, no pattern. So, irrational siya. Next example. 3x squared plus 9x plus 11 equals 0. So we have A equals 3, B equals 9, and C equals 11. All right, so let's just substitute again. Square of 9, 81, minus 4 times 3 times 11. So, makukuha natin ay negative 44. Yes, ano kaya ang sagot dito? If the discriminant is a negative number or less than 0, we can say that it has no real roots, imaginary, and unequal. Alright? Imaginary. Okay, next naman, letter D. Letter D, last example. So, napansin nyo, tatlong cases na. Ito naman yung pang-apat na case. Tignan nga natin. Actually, mapipredict nyo na kung ano sagot dito eh. X squared minus 12x plus 36 equals 0. A equals 1, B equals negative 12, and C equals positive 36. Alright. Sige nga, bilisan nga natin, grade 9. Sagot-sagot naman dyan. Okay, from Deparo High School, Marikina. We have here from the province of Apayao, Division of Apayao. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ayan. So, syempre, hindi lang bate. Okay, sagot-sagot din. Alright. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we will just substitute in the discriminant. B squared minus 4AC, negative 12, or square of negative 12 is 144, minus 4 times 1 times 36. So, the answer is 0. Right? 144 minus 144 is 0. So, ano ang case natin dito? Again, kapag ang discriminant ay 0, we can say the answer is real, rational, and equal roots. Alright? Because the square root of 0 is 0. Alright? Sa ating mga grade 9 students, math terrific students, i-ready na ang papel, lalo na sa mga estudyante natin dyan. Dahil meron na tayong evaluation at makakasama natin si Tutor Janet, no? Para sa ating evaluation. Ilagay ang number ha, 1 to 5. Ilagay natin, no? Direct, pasok na natin ng ating fairy godmother. Alright.
Thank you, Direk. So, kagaya ng sinabi ng ating math diwata tutor, tayo po ngayon ay mag-e-evaluate na kung naintindihan ang ating competencies para sa araw na to, which are using the quadratic formula at saka yung kadidiscuss lang ni Tutor Angenique na discriminant. Napakadali lang po ng lesson, di ba? So, let us start answering the multiple choice type of test na pinrepare sa atin ni Tutor Angenique. So, the direction is choose the letter that corresponds to the choice which you think best answers the question. So, pipili kayo ng either A, B, C, or D. So, kagaya nga ng sabi ni Tutor Angenique, so mahigpit naming paalala para ma-note namin kung tama yung sagot ninyo, you have to write the number. Okay, so for our first question, number 1. So, isulat nyo dyan, number 1, if the quadratic equation EX squared plus BX plus C equals 0 is solved using quadratic formula, the solutions are A, X equals negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. B, x equals b plus or minus the square root of yung discriminant, yung b squared minus 4ac over a, or is it C, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared plus 4ac all over 2a, or yung last letter ba na D, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over a. Ayan, ang dami na nagsasagot, tutor. Sabi ni Gremar, okay, basahin natin, tutor, ang mga nagsagot ng letter A. Sige po. Ayan, mahabol sila, ang dami.
Yes po. Sige po, sabihan niyo lang po, Fairy Godmother, kung
Okay. Ayan.
papakita ko na yung sagot.
I-recognize natin kasi karamihan sa kanila ay nagsasagot ng letter A. Ayan. So si Dwayne, si Nicole, si Harvey, si Julica, si Minette, si Realyn, si Emmanuel. Okay. So tingnan natin kung tama yung mga binigay na sagot ng ating mga cuties. Paki-flash na, tutor. Ayan.
Yes.
So very good. Yay! Number 1. Ayan si Hannah, tanong siya, A or C? Okay. Bakit A lang po yung tamang sagot? Ayan. Kasi, ang tamang formula, no, tingnan natin yung discriminant, connected yun sa formula na ng quadratic. So, B squared minus 4AC, not B squared plus 4AC. So, remember, the radicand should be B squared minus 4AC. Ayan. Number 2. Okay, the second question, it talks about yung hindi na quadratic equation, yung pinaka-recent lesson ni tutor. How many real roots does the quadratic equation 5x squared minus 8x plus 6 equals 0 have? Okay, how many real roots does the quadratic equation 5x squared minus 8x plus 6 equals 0 have? So, i-identify nyo using the discriminant ilan ang real roots ng 5x squared minus 8x plus 6 equals 0. So the choices, of course, are letter A, 0, letter B, 1, letter C, 2, or letter D ba, 3. Okay, so lagyan uli ng number. For number 2, ang isusulat nyo po ay ilan ang roots. Is it 0? So A. Kung isa lang, B. Kung dalawa, C. Kung tatlo, D. Okay. Go. Ayan. So, hintayin natin ang sagot nila, tutor.
Yes po. Nakalimutan lang po yung plus dyan, pero that's positive 6 plus
positive 6. 5x squared minus 8x plus 6 equals 0. Ayan. Ilan ang ating? Yan, type your answers.
And so while waiting, tutor, kanina ang dami pong nakatama, no?
Oo, sa number 1 talagang marami ang actually sa mga Microsoft Office, no, PowerPoint, Word, makita nila yan kapag nag-i-insert sila ng equation. So dapat familiar talaga sila. Ayan. Nagsagot si Krisa May, sabi niya, number 2 is C. Okay, so 5x squared minus 8x plus 6 has how many zeros? Okay, paki-double check ang inyong discriminant, b squared minus 4ac. Okay. Ang ating a ay 5, ang ating c ay 6. Okay. So marami nagsasagot ng letter C. Mukhang no, tutor. Real roots kasi ang tinatanong natin dyan.
Yes,
so, ibig
real
sabihin,
roots.
We expect the discriminant to be greater than 0 kung kung 2 real roots. Okay? So ano ba ang discriminant? Paki-double check. So ang ating formula ay b squared minus 4 times a times c. Ang c natin, kinorek na namin ni tutor, it's positive 6. Okay.
Ayan. So, while waiting for the correct answers, tutor, so, wag po natin kalimutan. Yes po. Karamihan letter C. So, bibigyan pa po namin kayo ng chance ni Fairy Godmother. Ayan.
Yes, baka magsisi sa C, no?
Oo. Napaka-witty talaga ng ating Fairy Godmother. Nako, pinag-iisipan pala talaga nila. Ano bang na-solve nyo sa discriminant? So, tandaan, real roots. Real roots ha, yung
Okay.
hinahanap
So,
natin. Meron ba?
meron nga ba, tutor? So, it appears na naghihirapan silang mag-decide, no? Pakita na natin yung tamang sagot. For number 2, the answer is wala pong real roots. Zero ang ating real roots. Kasi when we compute the discriminant, okay, so pag tiningnan natin, no, hindi rin kasi possible yung Lisa May yung sagot na 3. Kasi remember, a quadratic equation, because its degree 2 can have at most 2 real roots. Okay, at most 2 real roots. So, ang tamang sagot po rito ay letter A. So, wala tayong real roots because ano nga ang discriminant natin dyan, tutor? Positive ba or negative? Okay.
Negative number. So,
Okay,
imaginary
so,
po siya. 'Di ba,
oo. So,
tutor? Ano ba
meron
yung ano
tayong
natin dyan?
imaginary. Oo, yung hugot natin dyan, akala mo nandyan pero wala. Imaginary siya. Okay.
Ayan,
Let's go
number
to
3,
number
tutor.
3. Solve for the roots of 2x squared plus 6x equals negative 3 using quadratic formula. Ayan. Solve for the roots of 2x squared plus 6x equals negative 3. So, hindi pa siya naka-standard form. Using quadratic formula. Okay? So, remember, for number 3, ganun uli, isulat nyo yung letter ng tamang sagot. Preceding dapat doon yung number na 3. Okay? Para ma-recognize namin na ang sinasagutan nyo na ay yung third question natin for evaluation. Okay? So, the choices are A, negative 3 plus or minus square root of 3 over 2. B, 3 plus or minus square root of 3 over 2. C, 2 plus or minus square root of 3 over 2. Or letter D, negative 2 plus or minus square root of 3 over 2. Ayan. So, nakakasama rin natin, no, from all over the Philippines. So, kasama natin, I would like to correct myself. Sabi ko, Nueva Ecija. This is from Isabela. So, yung mga taga Doña Magdalena H. Gafood High School. So, si Frenalyn Galang from grade 9 Scorpio. Sagot ka rin, Nak, for number 3. Ayan, nagsasagot si Sir Rainier. Letter A. Ayan. So, nag-agree naman ang ating mga cuties. Tingnan natin. Tutor?
Alright.
Ayan, okay. Ang galing natin. May star sa atin si Direk. Thank you, Direk. Ayan. So, number 4, binibigyan niya na tayo ng Q. Number 4, ayan. The roots of a quadratic equation are imaginary. Which of the following statements is true about the discriminant of the equation? Okay, so connected yan sa number 2 ni tutor, no? The roots of a quadratic equation are imaginary. Which of the following statement is true about the discriminant of the equation? Is it A, negative yung discriminant? B, the discriminant is equal to 0? C, the discriminant is positive and a perfect square? Or D, the discriminant is positive and not a perfect square? Okay, so again, the roots of a quadratic equations are imaginary. So, the last case, no? Okay, ano ngayon ang nature ng roots natin? So, no real roots kapag imaginary. So, what can we predict about the discriminant? Is it negative, 0, positive and perfect square, or positive and not perfect square? Ayan. So, maraming iba-iba yung sagot nila, tutor, no? So, imaginary, kasi ganun talaga tayo minsan, no? Nalilito tayo sa pag marami na kasi yung possible cases. So, case ito na negative ang, so atin na ipakita. Ayan.
Yes,
So, ayan,
it's
humabol
letter
naman yung mga tamang
A.
sagot. Acknowledge natin yung mga humabol. Si Hannah Nika, si Harvey, at saka si Sir Rainier. Letter A.
Wow.
Ayan. So, last question na po, number 5. Ayan. The roots of a quadratic equation are 2 and 5. Which of the following statement is true about the discriminant of the equation? So we know that the roots are given 2 and 5. Which of the following is true about the discriminant of the equation? Okay, so again, ang choices pa rin natin, same sa number 4. So hindi ko na po babasahin. Same choices sa number 4. Negative ba yung discriminant? 0. Positive siya na perfect square or positive na not perfect square. Okay. So number 5, last question. Tingnan natin kung may naka-sweep. No, may panalo tayo sa ating mga ka-squid dito, no? Sa squid game. Ayan. So number 5, ano ang masasabi natin sa discriminant? This time na given ang roots ay 2 and 5. Okay, A, B, C, or D. Go. Yan. Okay.
Alright.
So, pakita na natin, tutor.
Okay.
Yan. So, of course, dahil nga rational, okay, ano nga yung tatlo yung classification natin, no? Real, rational, and unequal yung root. So, ibig sabihin, greater than 0 siya. But at the same time, perfect square. Ayan, humabol si Hana, Nika, at saka si Dwayne. Congratulations sa inyong dalawa. Nakuha niyo yung tamang sagot. Very good. Ayan. So, yan po nagtatapos ang ating evaluation. So, atin na silang paalaman. At i-remind, no, tutor, every Friday po, in-invite namin kayo ni Tutor Angenique. Makasama kami every Friday from 3 o'clock to 3:40 p.m. And because we value your feedback, pakita na natin yung iyan. So, you can scan the QR code na nakita nyo sa screen for your feedback. At kanina po pinlash na rin ni Direct ang atin pong HTTPS. So, balikan na lang po natin sa ating umpisa ng broadcast para makita nyo po kung saan nyo kami pwedeng ma-reach. So, up next na po si Tutor. Sino susunod sa atin? Ayan, si Tutor Avhil at si Tutor Rowell para sa Math 10. So, Tutor, may dadagdag ka pa?
Ayun po, so maraming salamat sa ating mga active na schools and students, mga Math Terrific students. So, see you again next week. Maraming salamat po.
Abangan ang mapipili namin na Chuty of the Week. Thank you.